Hello everybody, happy Monday. It is Monday the 8th of July. I am here hosting because Alex is on vacation. So I am taking over from him to cover tennis with these two lovely fine folk. We've got Snize at Snize Master. You can give him a follow on Twitter. And of course, Whale Kappa, Whale_Kappa. Both of these two lovely people need no introduction. So quarterfinals, and obviously Corey Goff was, we knew really, up against Simona Halep, we knew that wasn't really the case, but I tell you what, I'm really excited to see more from her moving forward. Now, we know the 4 quarterfinal matches from the women's. We know 2 of the men's. I know Alex likes to start first with the women because he likes women. So I suppose in that case, I'll start with the men because I like men. How does that sound? All right, so we know 2 of the men's, and then we'll move on to the women's. Right. Okay, so out of the 2 men's, Snize, which one are you liking? Or do you like them both?
Well, I can't really say I like either of these matches because we have Novak Djokovic, we have Rafael Nadal, both are astronomical favorites. The big 3 have really shown that they're in a class of their own compared to the rest of the field during this tournament. It's just gotten apparent as the further we've gone on. Federer has been in a slight lull. Nadal had a slightly tough match against Kyrgios. Apart from that, they've just been steamrolling over everything. So I don't really know how to cap these matches because the lines are just quite crazy here. So nothing that really sticks out to me at first, but I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, no worries. But say, as far as if you're saying there's a massive class here. We've got Djokovic 1.8, Nadal 4.33, and Federer 4.5. Is there any value on any of those 3 outright tickets at this moment? We are in the quarterfinals. They're a bit safer to take now than sometimes at the beginning of the tournament when anything can really happen. Is there any value, or is that gone as well?
I would say if you're going to pick up an outright now, I would still go with Federer. I went with Federer pre-tournament. Nadal has looked scarily good at this Wimbledon, I have to admit, but peak Rafa hasn't even been able to barely beat Federer on grass, and they look destined to meet in the semifinal, and I think Federer has that as well, and having a 4.5 ticket in the final isn't that bad. I think it's going to be quite the even match versus Djokovic, even if he is indeed the favorite to lift title.
Yeah, and quite a big one as well, that 1.8. All right, so not much on the front from Snize Master here, but Snize, you will, obviously, we don't know the other 2 plays. If you come up with something, I'm sure you're going to post it on Twitter, as I've seen you've been posting all your plays there at Snize Master.
Yeah, and I will give a shout. I'm actually looking at lines right now, so as soon as I hop onto something, I'll say it here on the show.
Awesome, much appreciated. All right, Whale Kappa, do you echo what Snize says about the outrights here, going for that longer price of Roger Federer 4.5?
Yeah, I think I've actually been against him on that for the when we did the preview with Alex last week for the outrights. We kind of nailed the men's side. We sort of said, hey, this is a 3-man tournament. Like, there's really no point in looking beyond that, and that's been proven to be quite true because really there's none of the challengers that are left beyond Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic look to have much of a chance here. And Djokovic being in the top half with likely 2 kind of warm-up matches in line here before he gets to the final. Looks to be in the best of shape, which is why his odds reflect that. He was my pick pre-tournament because his draw was so easy. And presumably you're going to get a pretty massive clash in the semifinal with Nadal and Federer going head to head there. If that turns out to be a bloodbath, if that's a 5-set knockdown, drag out, like heavy duty fight, then that just plays even more into Djokovic's favor. So I think there still is value on Djokovic to win the title. I was cool on Federer to start with because I did not love his form on grass that we saw coming into this tournament. I thought that it was kind of odd that he chose to play clay this year and that he fired some of his bullets instead of kind of saving up for grass. I didn't really get it. And, I think up until this match he's played today, he's kind of been in like a lower gear. It does look like he's kind of thrown it into high gear now, and he may have, he's absolutely got the class to put a player like Kei Nishikori away next in the quarterfinals. And then that sets him up pretty well to get past Rafa Nadal and give us the Djokovic Federer final that everyone has been expecting and clamoring for. I don't know. I'm a little bit still bullish on Nadal's chances in this Federer Nadal head to head. But most of that is just because I think Nadal, the later we go into this tournament, the slower the surface gets. It gets beat up, it gets ground down, it becomes more and more like a clay surface. He bounces more and more like clay. And I think that could play a little bit into his advantage in the head-to-head against Federer. So I'm still very excited for that one, and we'll probably cover that on Wednesday. As far as the matches for the men's quarterfinals go, Querrey-Nadal is an interesting rematch of the final from Acapulco in 2017. Only head-to-head where we really saw Querrey kind of his peak game take on Nadal, and Querrey won in straight sets. He beat Nadal to win the title, to hoist the pair trophy in Acapulco, and it was a big moment, career moment for him. And there's some spectacular pictures from the final with Nadal just head down, just very disappointed, holding the second place plaque, and Querrey with the pair trophy. It's a lot of fun. I think Querrey is going to be a tougher out than the bookmakers expect here. I do think Nadal gets through, but I think this match has a first set tiebreak in it. Might be my favorite look of all. I think Querrey's going to be he's going to be a tough nut for Nadal to crack out of the gate. Nadal likes to play, warm his way into matches and build, become stronger and stronger as you go on. And so Querrey, I think, comes into this thinking, okay, if I'm going to get my foot in the door here, it's got to be quick, it's got to be fast. I've got to get a foothold in this first set here. And so I'm probably going to be looking for some value on Querrey in the first set, potentially to win. First set over is probably a good look because I do think it goes to a tiebreak, and if Querrey can win a tiebreak, he's shown a nose for playing tiebreaks very, very well. Especially on grass. He's beaten the number one overall, player Djokovic on grass at Wimbledon a couple of years ago. So we know he has the class. I don't think he pulls off an upset here, but I do like Querrey to give us some kind of an entertaining match here against Nadal. So I'm going to be backing him especially early in the match. And then looking for an over. So I think he can get a set early, and this can go 4 sets. We will likely see Querrey take the first set, and then Nadal take 3 in a row. I'm not going to back Sam on the handicap because once Nadal kind of gets going and he's rolling like a ball rolling downhill, you could see 6-2, 6-1 sort of late in this match. But I do think Querrey's got a good chance at nipping a set, and I think he's going to do it early.
All right, Snize, do you agree with Wales' prediction there of the match?
Definitely, that's likely how I see it playing out as well. One thing I've been impressed with is how well Nadal has been serving this week. His serve has been on another level, and his backhand. So he's been getting a lot of free points, more than he usually gets, and that's been a huge help for him. So it's been extremely tough to break, and that actually plays into this matchup. As we all know, Querrey has a complete monstrosity of a serve, and I just found a price that I like for this match. I think that Querrey competes early. Like Whale said there, tie breaks are likely, and I just found plus 140 or 2.40 for over 10.5 games in set 1. So we need 12 games there. So a 7-5 or a 7-6. So I'm going to jump on that right now.
Ooh, that's
I like it. That's the look.
All right. We got some value on the men's side. Did you want to break down Djokovic Goffin, or you're sort of on the same page as Snize there?
Yeah, that looks like a mismatch to me. I mean, Djokovic is playing absolutely superlative tennis right now. He is going to break Goffin when he feels like it, and Goffin really has no say in this match, as far as I can tell you. Djokovic is 5-1 all time head-to-head against Goffin. The only win that Goffin had was in Monte Carlo in 2017, when Djokovic really was kind of, he was really, not in it that day. I don't think this is much of a match at all. I think Djokovic 3-0 is probably the look. And, Djokovic 3-0, combine that with something like Federer 3-0 against Nishikori, that probably is a decent ACCA. I bet you that pays you into the plus money range, because, of the quarterfinals, those two look the most likely to go 3-0. Djokovic and Federer. So that's probably how I'll approach those two. But we need to see some prices first.
Yeah. All right, over onto the women's side here. All 4 matches have been released. Surprisingly now, obviously, Serena Williams is the favourite to lift the trophy, 2.75. Simona Halep, 3.6. And then Joanna Konta, 6, with Alina Svitolina at 11. So those are the top 4 there on the outrights. All right, start us off here, Whale Kappa. What is your favourite play that you're looking at? Your favourite head-to-head? Is it Alison Riske versus Serena Williams? Is it Simona Halep versus Shui Zhang? Which one is it? Or neither?
The Halep match, I think, is going to be the most entertaining. I think that's it's not necessarily priced in a way that I think is appropriately reflects how even this match is going to be. Shui Zhang has beaten Halep twice head-to-head. Both of them were on hard court. Halep, although we talked about it in our preview, I thought she was a good look at the price. She was like 14-15 to 1 to start the tournament. I thought she was a good look then, because kind of her camp had confirmed that she was really focused on this tournament and she intended to go long. She was going to make a run at the title. But her serve and her ability to hold serve has been completely unimpressive to this point. She hasn't really faced specifically tough competition, and yet still she's just getting through. I think she is absolutely on upset alert here. I think this is going to be a very competitive match. I like Zhang a little bit on the money line, and I like the handicap as well. I think this is going to be a very tight match. I still think Halep gets through. I still think she actually makes it all the way to the final here. But I don't expect this in any way, shape to be as easy as the bookmakers do. They basically give her about an 85-90% chance based on the way they line this. I make it more like 70 to 75%. So I think this is going to be quite competitive match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you there. But you said you were liking a little bit Zhang on the money line there, 5.35, but more what to look in and giving her a plus on the handicap.
Yeah, I think games handicap is the right way to approach this. And just on the basis of, I think she's going to be able to get some traction against Halep's serve. She's going to break her. I think very likely she takes a set. I think plus 4.5, plus 5.5 games handicap, either one of those two, get the best price you can get. That's kind of the right way to attack this.
All right. Now, Snize, I know you are never shy to go against or head-to-head with Whale Kappa. Do you agree with his prediction there? Do you think that this is going to be closer than the odds are suggesting, or is Whale Kappa way off?
Just really quick, I just found a price for Djokovic 3-0 at -142 or 1.70, and I'm taking that. That's a golfing class, like he said, and I think Djokovic rolls. So to get in on the women's here, I definitely agree. This is one of the matches that I had circled. I don't think that Halep is particularly impressive on grass, even though her team surprisingly said she's been focused on Wimbledon. She got beat down defending her title at Roland Garros. Her serve is a weakness. She got broken twice versus a 15-year-old in Coco Gauff, for example. Today faced 6th break point. Had trouble there, struggled against a countrywoman in Buzarnescu, went 3 sets. And she had a pretty easy path, on paper. Azarenka, who was supposed to be a big threat, she just collapsed. So she hasn't really been tested against a top-rate opponent. And then we have Zhang on the other side, who's never went through round 1 in 8 attempts before this time. But now she's playing absolutely amazingly. She took down Garcia, and Wozniacki, two big seeds there. And I give her a very, very good chance to win this. The odds rate her at about a 19% chance to win. I think it's higher than that. So I've also gone with the games plus 5.5, and I've gone with the money line. And you can get those at 1.76, minus 132 for the games, and the money line I got at plus 425 or 5.25.
So you're taking straight out then, Zhang, on the money line?
Yep.
Ooh, all right then. So both are agreeing there. Whale,
Oh boy.
You're playing it just a little safer and taking with a plus on the Asian handicap for Zhang.
Yeah, at this point in the tournament, that when you get to the quarterfinals and you have a player who's never done it before versus a player who's won a major title, that kind of tends to make it that much more difficult to pull off the upset. When it's earlier and it's unexpected, round 1 against Garcia or round 3 against Waz, like that. And by the way, I have not been especially impressed with either of their forms this year either. So I don't really know how high to hold up, Zhang's form as far as, is she as threatening to get the outright as as she was when she beat. Well, she beat Halep twice, on hard court, and neither match was actually especially competitive. Zhang dominated, and so I would be more bullish on her getting the outright win if this wasn't as deep into a major tournament against someone who has won a slam to this point. So that's the only thing that's really holding me back from getting all in on the Halep upset. That and I have a Halep outright ticket that I'd really like to see get to the final. But that's a different story entirely. The other definitely the interesting competitive match is the Risk Serena match, and I have to say, we have some sharp friends who are all aboard the Allison Risk train from Jump Street on grass season. They were like, look out for her. She's going to be amazing. We're taking her at 400 to 1 to win Wimbledon. And I thought that's bonkers. There's no way she's good enough to make a run here. And then she gets drawn into the quarter of death. And it's like, oh, well, maybe she was good, but we'll never know because she's never going to make it that far. Lo and behold, she's played extraordinarily well. She has now beaten number 1 Kiki Bertens. She has beaten number 1 Ashley Barty. She has 2 extremely impressive grass wins on her resume this year. And Serena Williams will be by far and away her toughest test, I believe, even more so than Barty. I thought Barty was a fair test. Risk played incredibly well, but Serena, what comes along with going up against someone that has as many titles on this court as Serena does, it's a different challenge than just beating the world number 1, who's never won a Wimbledon before. So I think this is going to be an extremely tough challenge for her. If my guess is she's going to be competitive early. I think she has a chance to win the first set. But again, I don't think she wins the upset. I think at this point, this tournament is Serena Williams to lose, and I think she gets by Risk. But it should be a competitive 3-set match where the over is a good chance, and Risk to take a set has a good chance. That's the way I'm approaching betting this Serena Risk match.
All right, interesting. Now you mentioned you had a Simona Halep futures ticket. Do you have any others? Did you put all your eggs in one?
All my others have been eliminated. Jo Konta took out my other 2. She beat Sloane Stephens and Petra Kvitova in back-to-back matches and eliminated the 2 dark horses I thought on the top who could come out. Kvitova was a huge disappointment today. Jo Konta, I don't know where her form has come from this spring, early summer here, but her run at Roland Garros was completely caught me by surprise. And then to turn around and do it again with all of the pressure and all of the weight of the British media on her, there is an enormous expectation on her in the UK every year at Wimbledon, and for her to have the kind of the mental fortitude to make it this far and to come up with those 2 wins, which were extremely tough and competitive. Has really been impressive. So, Jo Konta, hats off to you. Congratulations for, exceeding expectations. But I have to stay away from her matches at this point because she's beating the life out of me.
Oh dear. Well, you've got one ticket. You never know. All right. And okay, so 2 more matches obviously is Alina Svitolina for Munchova, and then Barbara versus Joanna Konta. You're saying you're staying away from the Konta Joanna Konta match because she just destroys anything that you bet on. So
Yes.
Snize, are you? Do you have anything, or do you again echo what World Cup is saying, and she's just a bit of a risky horse to back?
So I actually don't have any bets on these other 2 matches, and I would have to agree with the contest assessment there. It's really hard to place her and to gauge how she's going to perform, because at one point she looks like she's going to collapse, and at another point she's just dominant. Today's match against Kvitov was an example of that. It was a really competitive match. She got behind, and I thought the weight of the expectation of the British people, being the British #1 center court, just like Dan Evans got done in by the crowd. He couldn't perform against Sosa down the stretch. I thought that same would happen to Konta, but she pulled through. She plays really aggressive baseline tennis. I would hold her as a favorite against Strykova, who doesn't really pack the same punch. So I would expect she wins, but these Konta matches have been really tough to cap, so I'm staying away. So instead, I want to talk a bit about that Risk-Williams match as well. So I was kind of going against Serena to start this tournament. I said that we haven't really seen the best of her. She's been injured. She hasn't played well. But that's reversed now. I think she's been playing herself into form. She's moving as well as she has done since she came back from childbirth. And right now, 8 of the top 10 seeds are out of the tournament. And the 7-time Wimbledon champion, the road seems wide open. I do think Risk gives her a really stern test. But at this point, I think it's Serena's to lose. So I've actually gone ahead and put her in as a future there. I got her at plus 168 for 2.68 to win the tournament. And in that Risk matchup, I think that both of these women play spectacular first strike tennis. And I think it's going to be a match that's dominated by serve and hitting the shot after the serve. I don't think we'll see many longer rallies. Both of them will be ripping the ball. It'll be really tough to find breaks, so I'm expecting that to go long. So I've gone ahead and played over 20.5 games there. I think that's at least 1 game too low. I got that at minus 120 or 1.83.
Nice. That is a good way to look at it. At this point, World Cup, I know you're hoping that Simona Halep ticket comes in. You don't want to grab a little bit of value from because it's not a bad price, I have to say. You don't have to wait long, obviously, to catch the ticket in of Serena Williams to win it all there. 2.75 or plus 175, I believe it might be.
I do think that's a good bet. I didn't know that was available at that price. I thought it was closer to evens at this point. It should be closer to evens. I don't see really anyone in the fit. None of the other 7 women in this tournament have much of a chance of beating Serena outright at this point. And I would fully endorse Snize's play there, looking for Serena to win it outright at this point. I think Svitolina match is an under match. I think Svitolina gets through 2-0 there. I think Muchova was impressive today to oust Karolina Pliskova. And but the toll that match took on her is going to be pretty apparent and pretty evident. And I think Svitolina does advance relatively easily there 2-0.
Yeah.
But Svitolina, the idea of Svitolina or Halep having a shot at Serena in the final, I don't think so. Konta having a shot at Serena in the semifinal, I don't think so. If Serena takes care of Risk at this point, she's golden. She wins this title.
Yeah, I'm just reading as well. Joao, our resident tennis writer, he's liking it. It's a low price though, really. But Alina Svitolina to win 1.5, whether it's good for an ACA filler or you just think that there's value. You think it's sort of a comfortable Svitolina win. Do you agree on that price there, 1.5, or would you look to another market, Snize?
Yeah, I would agree with that assessment. I think Karolina Mushova has been extremely surprising. No one expected her to get this far, but that is a huge emotional upset over her countrywoman and the second seed Pliskova there. She won the final set 13-11. I'm just going to check how long that match actually took to finish. 3 hours and 17 minutes. And now she plays tomorrow against arrested Svitolina, who got through a pretty gassed Martic there in her match today. So I definitely think she wins this match, and I might be looking to include her in an ACA later on.
Yeah.
So I think definitely Svitolina is the play there.
I would get even a little more aggressive and better to win in straight sets. Is do you have a price available for 2-0 Svitolina? It should be probably like plus 120, plus 140 range, something like that. 2.4.
Yeah, plus 120.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think she gets it done in straight sets. Svitolina 2-0.
There you go. All right, so I think we have previewed every single match, unless I don't know, I haven't missed one. Do you have a favorite play? Well, Kappa.
Do we know if Raonic got through against Guido Pella?
5th set right now. I actually tweeted out Pella to win. I think Raonic chokes this.
Oh, what a clown that guy. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. He was a 5-star. What a clown. Unreal. Raonic, I don't know what to make of him at this point in his career. Guido Pella gets through, then Roberto Bautista Agut is probably pretty clearly through to the semifinals. But that whole quarter is just trash. Ay. It's so bad. Such a bad score. Okay, anyway. No, I guess my favorite looks for the quarterfinals on the women's. For sure, the Zhang handicap plus 5.5. I would even go as low as plus 4.5 if you can get a better price, say like 2.2-ish. I think that's the right way to approach that match. The risk Serena Williams over is a great look, and the Svitolina under or Svitolina 2-0 is a great look. And I'm steering clear of that Konta match. Djokovic 3-0. Paired with Federer 3-0 is a beauty of an ACA. Those two get through unscathed. Meanwhile, Nadal has a tougher test with Querrey than the bookmakers think, especially early in that match. Querrey's, the first set over 10.5, which we kind of already touched on. Querrey to win a set, I think, is worth a touch. And just in general, the over is a little bit too low. I think we see about 38, 39 games in that one. So the game's over. And then early competitiveness from Querrey are the way I'm looking at backing that match.
Cool. All right. So like quite a fair few. What about you, Snize? What's on your cards for the quarterfinals, or do you have a favorite bet?
Okay, I'll just run down the card and then name my favorite. So I've gone on Serena outright to win. You get that at plus 175, I think.
Yeah.
I got on Zhang plus 5.5 games at minus 132 or 176. I got on Zhang to win money line, also smaller stakes, obviously, plus 425 or 5.25. I got the risk Williams over 20.5 at minus 120 or 1.83. I got the first set over 10.5 games in Querrey Nadal at plus 140 over 240. And I've also got Djokovic to win 3-0 at 170 or minus 143. My favorite of the bunch there would definitely be the Zhang handicap. I think that's a very competitive game, followed by Djokovic 3-0. I think that Goffin is just plays quite similarly to Djokovic. He's a player that keeps the ball in play, great baseline defense, great mover, but Djokovic is just way better at it, so he doesn't have a chance. So I think you get steamrolled there. So those would be my favorite looks for the quarterfinals.
All right, great stuff. You guys, looks like you're all on the same page on this one. Normally it's head to head, and no, we're all singing from the same hymn sheet. Fantastic.
We're rowing the boat in the same direction
rowing the same.
in the quarterfinals. Although tune in on Wednesday when we go head to head on the Rafa Nadal Federer semifinal breakdown, because as kind of previewed, I think Rafa's got more of a fighting chance than Snize does.
Okay. All right. Yes, we'll be back again on Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. UK time, and breaking down the semi-finals tomorrow. Africa Cup of Nations with Martin Green, and so hopefully see you all then. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching, and of course to today's guests, Snize at Snize Master and Whale Kappa, Whale_Kappa. Thank you, boys, and see you on Wednesday.
Thank you, Natalie. Best of
Take
luck.
care.